Beloved chosen one, stop for a moment. Just pause and breathe. Everything around you may seem like it's moving at a relentless pace, but heaven has caused it all to slow down in this very instant. This message is not an accident. This is divine interception. Heaven has seen the weight you've been carrying, the struggles that have felt unending, the battles that have taken every ounce of your strength. It's as if you've been pushing against a storm for so long, fighting for every bit of peace, every breath of clarity, and every ounce of hope. But now, in the stillness, heaven is speaking to you. It's time for you to hear this truth. You have done enough. The tears you've cried in silence, the hours you've spent fighting without seeing results, and the heartache that no one else witnessed, heaven saw it all. You are not forgotten. In fact, you are being called to let go now. Let God take over. Heaven has been watching your every move. It saw the days when you stood strong, even when you felt like you were crumbling inside. You carried the weight of challenges that seemed unbearable, thinking that you were the one who had to bear it all. Every prayer you whispered in the dark, every moment of exhaustion, every time you doubted whether you were still on the right path, heaven was right there with you. You were never alone. You may have thought that God was distant or silent, but the truth is, He was always there, patiently waiting for you to come to the point where you could no longer carry it on your own. Heaven knew that the moment you reached the end of your strength would be the perfect moment for divine strength to take over. Now, heaven is stepping in to offer you peace. You are being called to surrender, not out of defeat, but as an act of trust. The weight you've been carrying was never meant to be yours alone. It was never yours to control, to fix, or to bear the burden of every outcome. The truth is, heaven has always had a plan, and the season of striving is ending. You've fought long enough, and now it's time for God to take the reins. In the book of Exodus 14:14, it is written, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." This stillness is not a sign of weakness. It is surrender. It is the act of trusting that heaven is in control and that the battles you've been facing were always meant to be fought by God, not by you. Heaven is speaking to you now, telling you that your battle is over, not because you've lost, but because you have allowed God to take over. This is the turning point, the shift in your life. It's time for you to step back and rest, to stop trying to fix everything that's broken, to stop forcing the doors to open when heaven is saying, "This is my door to open, not yours." God is inviting you to release control and allow His divine timing to unfold in your life. The battles that you once fought with all your strength will now be fought on your behalf by the Almighty. All the things you've been trying to fix, all the questions you've been asking, the answers will come, not by your effort, but by the work that God is doing behind the scenes. Heaven has been working all along, and now it's time for you to trust and let go. You may be feeling weary, and it may seem like nothing is happening, but believe this: God is orchestrating everything behind the scenes. The silence you've been experiencing is not a sign that God has forgotten you. Instead, it's heaven making preparations, aligning things you cannot see. It's as if heaven has been silently laying the foundation for the next step in your journey, and now, the time for action is here. The very things that once seemed impossible are about to shift. The struggles you faced will be replaced by a season of divine peace, where doors that were once closed will open on their own. You are entering a season of divine favor, a season where your faith will carry you further than your efforts ever could. So, chosen one, hear this now. You've done enough. The fight is over. The battle that you've carried on your shoulders was never yours to fight alone. Let heaven take over. It's time for you to rest, not because you've given up, but because you've trusted. The peace that you have been longing for is now within your reach, and it begins with you stepping into the stillness, surrendering control, and trusting that the divine hand of God is at work in your life. This is your moment of release. You no longer have to fight to prove your strength. You simply need to trust that heaven's strength will be more than enough. The battle was never yours to fight. You've been carrying the weight of struggles that were never meant to be yours. There have been moments when you thought you were standing alone, holding the weight of the world on your shoulders, pushing forward with every ounce of strength you could muster, believing that your efforts were the only thing standing between you and victory. But heaven is revealing something far deeper now. This fight, this struggle, was never meant to be yours. It has always been the Lord's battle. As it is written in Exodus 14:14, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." The message is clear. The battle you've been waging, the storms you've been weathering, the things you've been desperately trying to control, they were never meant to be carried by your hands alone. Heaven has always had a plan, and that plan involves you stepping back, resting, and allowing God to take control. Surrendering doesn't mean giving up. It means finally letting go of the things you've been clutching so tightly, the burdens you've carried so long, the fears that have dictated your every move. It's not about defeat. It's about trust. It's about faith. The Lord has seen every moment when you thought you were failing, when the weight of your circumstances made you wonder if it was all worth it. But heaven's message to you now is clear. This is not the end of your story. This is the moment when divine intervention steps in. It's the moment when your human strength is not enough, and that's exactly where God's infinite strength begins. Surrender is the highest form of trust you can offer. It's the acknowledgement that you don't have to do it all yourself, that you were never meant to do it all yourself. The exhausting season of striving is coming to an end, chosen one. You've spent so much time trying to force things to happen, trying to make everything fall into place on your own, believing that the only way forward was through your own efforts. But now, heaven is inviting you to rest, not because you've failed, but because you've done all you can. It's time to stop fighting the current. It's time to stop pushing against the flow of what God is already orchestrating. It's time to trust that, in the stillness, God is at work in ways you can't see. There's a divine purpose unfolding, and even when it felt like nothing was happening, heaven has been working behind the scenes. The delays you've experienced, the unanswered prayers, the moments of silence from heaven, none of them were a sign that God was absent. Instead, they were part of the divine setup. God's timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't align with our own understanding. The delays you faced were not denials. They were preparations. They were heaven aligning everything for the right moment, for the moment when you would be ready to step into what God has in store for you. Every pause you've experienced, every moment of waiting, was heaven's way of positioning you, preparing you, and protecting you. It's easy to look at the pauses in life and assume that nothing is happening. You've prayed, you've worked, you've believed, but still, the doors haven't opened. You've wondered if God has forgotten you, if all your efforts have been in vain. But here's the truth. The delay is not a sign of rejection, but a sign of divine orchestration. Heaven is working things out in ways that you cannot see, aligning people, situations, and opportunities to come together at the perfect time. Just because you haven't seen the breakthrough yet doesn't mean it isn't coming. It simply means that heaven is making sure everything is ready for you to step into it. The waiting has not been wasted time. It has been the time of preparation, the time when heaven has been quietly laying the groundwork for your future. God's timing is never late. It's always right on time, even when it feels like the world is moving faster than you can keep up. When you were in the midst of your struggles, when you felt like you were losing ground, heaven was positioning you for something greater. The moments you spent wondering when things would change, when you would finally see the results of your efforts, they were not moments of inactivity. They were moments of alignment. Heaven has been moving behind the scenes, shifting things in your favor, even when it seemed like nothing was happening. The breakthrough is not delayed because heaven has forgotten you. It's delayed because God is preparing you for something bigger. something that requires your full readiness to receive it. So now, as you stand on the brink of something new, something bigger, something more aligned with your divine purpose, it's time to surrender. It's time to rest in the truth that the battle was never yours to fight. The struggle was never yours to carry. You were never meant to carry the weight of every decision, every outcome, every heartache. Heaven has seen your tears, your sacrifices, your moments of doubt, and now God is stepping in. You no longer have to fight alone. You no longer have to try to control every aspect of your life. God is saying, "Let me take over." This is your moment of surrender, your moment to rest in the fact that God is already at work, and He has been working long before you even realized it. The season of striving is over, chosen one. The time of pushing, fighting, and trying to force things into place has come to an end. You've done enough. Your efforts have not been in vain, but now it's time to let go and allow God to move. Trust in His timing, trust in His plan, and trust that everything that has happened up until now has been preparing you for this very moment. The delay wasn't a denial, it was a setup. It was God making sure that when the time was right, you would be ready to walk into the blessing He has for you. And now, that time is here. The doors that have remained closed are about to open, not by your effort, but by the hand of God. The miracles you've been praying for are about to unfold, but they will come not through your striving, but through your surrender. So, chosen one, take a deep breath. Let go of the weight you've been carrying. Allow yourself to rest, not in defeat, but in trust. Heaven has been working behind the scenes, and now it's time for you to step into the divine flow that God has already set in motion. The battle is no longer yours to fight. It's time for divine intervention. Let God take over. Now, chosen one, it's time to shift your posture. The season of striving is over, and with it, the exhausting cycle of pushing and forcing your way through life. You've spent so much time trying to make things happen, believing that your effort, your striving, and your constant movement were the keys to unlocking the future you desire. But heaven is inviting you into something far deeper, something far more profound. It's time to embrace divine rest and let go of control. The truth is, you've done enough. Your efforts have not been in vain, but now it's time to rest in the knowledge that God has a plan that is far greater than anything you could have ever forced or planned yourself. This is not a message of defeat. It's a message of alignment. It's a divine invitation to stop struggling, to stop trying to control every outcome, and to simply trust in the perfect plan that God has been orchestrating all along. It's time for you to rest, not because you failed, but because you've reached the point where only God's hand can move things forward. You've given your best. You've fought the good fight. Now, heaven is asking you to trust that the next phase of your journey will not be dictated by your strength, but by God's perfect timing. This moment of surrender is not about giving up. It's about giving in to the divine flow that has always been at work in your life. You've been holding on so tightly, fighting so hard, believing that if you just push a little more, things will change. But what if, chosen one, the change you've been waiting for will come not through more striving, but through releasing control? The shift from striving to resting, from forcing to allowing, is where you will begin to see the miraculous work of heaven unfold. God's perfect timing is at work, even when it seems like nothing is happening. Every unanswered prayer, every door that remained closed, every delay, every moment when you felt abandoned or unseen, these were not signs of rejection, but of divine alignment. Heaven has been arranging every detail, every connection, every moment with a precision that your human eyes cannot yet perceive. The waiting was not wasted. The pauses, the delays, were not a sign that God was ignoring you. They were heaven's way of preparing you for what was coming. Just because you couldn't see the results doesn't mean that God wasn't at work. Every prayer you prayed, every tear you shed, was being stored up in heaven. God's timing is perfect, and it is not bound by human understanding. What seems like a delay to you is simply heaven preparing everything for the right moment. In the silence, in the waiting, God has been working behind the scenes, setting things up in ways that you cannot yet see. And now, the time for release has come. This is the season of divine alignment, chosen one. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. The doors that have remained closed will open in God's perfect timing. The opportunities that seemed elusive will suddenly present themselves, not because you forced them to happen, but because God has aligned everything for your good. Your role now is not to force things into place, but to trust in the divine timing that is unfolding before you. Trust that heaven is working things out for you, and when the time is right, everything you've been waiting for will fall into place with ease. Rest in this truth. You do not have to fight for the things that are meant for you. You do not have to chase what heaven is already bringing to you. And so, chosen one, it's time to release. Release the need to control. Release the need to understand everything. Release the burden of carrying the weight of your future. This release is not a loss. It's a divine exchange. It's an invitation to let go of the control you've been holding on to so tightly, so that heaven's peace and guidance can flow freely into your life. The moment you release, you make room for divine intervention. The moment you let go of what you cannot control, you open yourself up to the fullness of God's plan for you. The things that you've tried to fix, the relationships you've tried to mend, the doors you've tried to open, they are not yours to control. Heaven is asking you to trust that God has a plan that is far beyond what you can see or understand. The act of surrender is not about weakness. It's about strength. It's about trusting that the one who created you knows what is best for you and is leading you to a place of divine peace and fulfillment. The release is a beautiful thing, chosen one, because in it you find renewal. You find the peace that has been eluding you. You find the rest that you've been longing for. In releasing control, you give God permission to move freely in your life. You allow His hand to guide you, to open doors, to make the connections, to lead you where you need to go. You no longer have to strain, no longer have to fight, no longer have to push for every little thing. Heaven is working for you now. The things that once seemed impossible, the situations that once seemed hopeless, are now being transformed by the power of God's grace. When you release, you make space for God's miracles to unfold in ways you couldn't have imagined. So, chosen one, let go. Let go of the burden. Let go of the need to control. Let go of the fear that you're running out of time or that things will never change. Heaven is telling you that you've done enough. Now it's time to step back and watch as God takes over. Trust in His perfect timing. Trust in the process. Trust that heaven has been working all along, and now is the time for you to step into the fullness of what has been prepared for you. When you surrender, you align yourself with divine will, and that alignment is where miracles happen. So, rest in this truth. You are not alone in this. God has been with you every step of the way, and now He is stepping in to carry the weight that was never meant to be yours. You can trust that His timing is perfect, His plan is flawless, and His peace will guide you through this next season of your life. The season of quiet and rest you are entering, chosen one, is not a season of inactivity or abandonment, but a season of divine restoration. It is in the stillness, in the moments of surrender, that heaven begins its transformative work within you. You have walked through fiery trials, weathered storms that seemed unrelenting, and fought battles that tested every part of your being, and yet here you are, not broken but refined, not defeated but restored. These trials were never meant to break you, but to strengthen you, to purify you, to prepare you for the purpose that lies ahead. Through every hardship, every loss, and every moment of despair, heaven has been shaping you, preparing you for this divine moment. Now, as you release control and embrace rest, You are ready to walk in divine authority. The weight you once carried, the burdens that once held you down, are being lifted. The refining fire that seems so intense was only making room for the divine authority that you are now stepping into. You are no longer just a survivor of your struggles. You are a testimony to the power of God's restoration. In this quiet season, you will discover that peace is your new strength. It is not in the striving, not in the relentless pursuit of success or recognition, but in the stillness where divine favor flows effortlessly. The time has come for you to stop chasing after what you think you need, the blessings that you have longed for. The opportunities that once seemed out of reach are not hidden from you. They are simply waiting for you to align yourself with God's perfect timing, to trust in His plan, and to rest in His presence. Heaven's favor is not something you need to earn through effort or striving. It is not about working harder or pushing through every obstacle on your own. No, chosen one. Heaven's favor flows effortlessly when you learn to rest in God's divine rhythm. As you surrender, you will begin to experience blessings without striving, peace without fear, and opportunities without force. This is the divine rhythm at work in your life, a rhythm that is guided by trust and peace, not by pressure and stress. Trusting in Heaven's timing means that you no longer have to fight for what you need. Instead, you will see doors open with ease, opportunities arise without effort, and blessings flow from unexpected places. Divine favor is not earned through striving. It is released through surrender. You've learned, chosen one, that peace is your new strength. In the past, you may have equated strength with control, with having all the answers, with being able to manage every situation on your own. But now, you realize that true strength comes from trusting in God's plan, from allowing Him to take the lead, and from resting in the knowledge that He is always in control. The striving that once characterized your life is being replaced with peace. The chaos that once stirred your soul is now being replaced with a calm assurance. This is not the peace of passivity or complacency. This is the peace that comes from walking in alignment with God's will. The peace you now possess is not just a feeling, but a power. It is the power to transform circumstances without effort, to shift the atmosphere with your presence, and to bring divine calm to places that once felt chaotic. Your presence, chosen one, will now carry the divine peace that you have cultivated in the stillness. You no longer need to chase after success or prove yourself to anyone. You are enough, just as you are, and in this divine rhythm, you will find that your presence alone is a force for transformation. As you move forward, you will realize that you no longer have to fight to make things happen. The divine rhythm you are now walking in is one of effortless flow. You will begin to see how everything in your life starts to align with divine purpose. People who once resisted you will now find themselves drawn to you. Opportunities that once felt distant or unattainable will now fall into your lap. But the key to all of this is peace. It is the peace that comes from surrender, from letting go of your need to control, from trusting that God's plan is far greater than anything you could have imagined. This peace will become your new strength, and through it, you will begin to see the transformation you've longed for. You will no longer chase after what you think you need. You will allow it to come to you, drawn by the peace and presence you now carry. You see, chosen one, there is power in stillness. The world may tell you that success comes through relentless effort, that your worth is determined by how hard you work or how much you achieve. But heaven operates on a different rhythm. Heaven's rhythm is one of trust, one of surrender, one of peace. It is in the stillness that you will find your true strength, and it is in this stillness that heaven will work its miracles in your life. The struggles that once consumed you, the battles that once seemed endless, will no longer have the power to move you. Your heart is now anchored in peace, and from this place of peace, you will see your life begin to transform in ways you never thought possible. Rest, chosen one, and watch as divine favor flows into your life. Watch as the doors you've been waiting for swing open. Watch as the opportunities you've been praying for appear before you. Watch as the people you need to meet show up at just the right time. All of this will happen not because of your effort, but because of God's divine rhythm. You have learned the secret of divine flow, trust, peace, and surrender. And now, you will begin to see how this rhythm works to transform your circumstances, your relationships, and your purpose. As you walk forward, chosen one, remember that you are no longer striving. You are living in the divine rhythm that heaven has set for you. This rhythm is not one of exhaustion or struggle. It is one of peace and divine authority. Your presence will bring transformation. Your peace will bring healing. Your trust will bring favor. And as you continue to rest in God's plan, you will see how everything you need will come to you effortlessly, in the perfect timing, just as it was always meant to. The time of striving is over. The time of divine flow has begun. You are no longer trying to force things to happen. You are allowing heaven to move through you, and in this divine flow, you will find your purpose fulfilled, your heart at peace, and your life transformed. Trust in this process, chosen one. This is your time to shine, not through effort, but through surrender. This is the season where your peace becomes your power, and the divine rhythm you walk in will transform everything around you. Now, chosen one, the time has come for you to take the final step in this sacred journey. It is time to rest in God's hands. Everything you've been holding on to, every burden, every fear, every ounce of control you've been desperately trying to maintain, release it now. You have done enough. The struggles you faced, the challenges that seemed insurmountable, the heartache that made you question if things would ever get better, they are not yours to carry anymore. Heaven has seen every moment, every tear, every prayer, and now it is inviting you to let go. Trust that God's timing is perfect. Trust that He has a plan, one far greater than anything you could ever orchestrate on your own. The delay, the silence, the waiting, they were never signs of abandonment. They were divine preparations, setting the stage for the miracles that are about to unfold in your life. You have been in the process of becoming, and now you are entering a new season, a season where peace, trust, and divine favor will be your companions. You don't have to strive anymore. You don't have to push against the flow. God's hand is now taking over. This is the season of release and renewal, where you will step into everything you have been waiting for, without striving, without effort, and without fear. Let go of what you cannot control, and rest in the assurance that God is working for you, even in ways you cannot yet see. Heaven has not forgotten you. It never has. Every prayer you've whispered, every moment of doubt, every struggle you've endured, has been seen, heard, and felt by the Creator. And now, as you release control, you will begin to experience what it means to be carried by God's peace. This peace is not a passive absence of conflict, but a powerful force that leads you into your divine purpose. When you surrender, you are aligning yourself with Heaven's plan. And in this alignment, favor will follow you. Doors that once seemed closed will open. Opportunities that you once thought were impossible will become your reality. You are entering a new season where you no longer need to fight for what is meant for you. Heaven's favor is already yours. The peace you are stepping into will lead you, chosen one, into the favor that has been prepared just for you. You are no longer carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You are walking in divine rest, knowing that God's hand is moving in ways you cannot yet see, preparing you for what's next. As you release, trust, and step into this peace, I encourage you to declare your faith. Take this moment to affirm your surrender and trust in God's perfect plan for your life. Share your declaration in the comments below. Say it out loud or write it down. I trust God. I release what I cannot control. I trust His timing. I surrender to His plan. Let this act be a step of agreement with heaven's divine intervention in your life. Every word of faith you speak, every step of surrender you take, brings you closer to the life God has designed for you. It's a declaration that you are ready to walk in His favor, His peace, and His purpose. This declaration is not just a verbal affirmation. It is a spiritual transaction, a step of faith that releases God's will to move in your life. Heaven is responding to your yes. As you trust in God's plan, you will begin to see the transformation unfold in ways you never imagined. The peace that you are embracing now is not the absence of trials, but the presence of God's hand moving through every moment of your journey. You are no longer fighting alone. Heaven is working for you, with you, and in you. Step into that peace, rest in it, trust in it, and watch as heaven brings you into a new season of favor, blessings, and divine fulfillment. You are not alone, chosen one. Heaven is with you, and now you are stepping into your divine purpose with peace leading the way.